So in this question, we want to compare the mass of sulfur in a 1 gram sample of MgS and the mass of sulfur in a 1 gram sample of Na2S. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go from grams to moles of each of these different samples. And then once we know the number of moles of each of these samples, we can go to moles of just the S atom in each of these samples. And then from there, we can figure out how many grams of S we have of each of these different samples. And so what we're going to do first is we're going to take this MgS right here, and I'm going to go from grams of this MgS to moles of MgS. And so I'm going to take 1 gram that we have of this sample here and divide it by the molar mass, and the molar mass of MgS is going to be 56. So I'm going to do 1 over 56, and when I do that, I'm going to get 0.0178, and that will be moles of MgS. And now that I know the number of moles of MgS, I need to find out how many moles of just the S atom I have in this sample. So I'm going to take this 0.0178, and that will be moles of MgS, and I'm going to put this over 1 like this, and then I'm going to go from this 1 MgS that's going to be in this sample, and I'm going to say I'm going to have 1 S atom in this sample, and when I do that, I'm going to get 0.0178 moles of S atoms that's in this sample. And what we need to do now is we need to go from moles of this to grams of this. And the way we do that is to multiply by the molar mass. And so if we take this 0.0178 and multiply by the molar mass of S, which is going to be 32, we're going to get 0.571, and that will be grams of just the S. And so this is meant in grams of the S atom that I'm going to have in a 1 gram sample of this MgS right here. And so now that I know the number of grams I have with just the S, I need to find out how many grams of S I'm going to have in a 1 gram sample of this Na2S right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1 gram of this Na2S and divide by the molar mass of Na2S, which is going to be 78. So we're going to do 1 over 78. And when we do that, we're going to get 0.0128, and that will be moles of Na2S. And we're going to take this 0.0128, and that'll be moles of the Na2S. We'll put that over 1 like this. And then what we're going to do now is say that for every one of these right in here, the Na2S, for every one of these Na2S compounds, I'm going to get 1 S atom. So we'll put 1 S up top. And when we do that, we're going to get 0.0128. And that will be moles of just the S atom that's going to be in this Na2S. And then we need to go to grams, so we're going to take this 0.0128 and multiply by the molar mass of just S, which again will be 32, so we'll do times 32 here. And when we do that, we're going to get 0.410, and that'll be grams of just the S atom here. And so what we'll do now is we're going to compare these two different samples, and we can say this one right here is going to have more S atoms. So we'll put more S atoms per 1 gram. And now we'll go back up to the question and see that we want to compare the mass of sulfur in this 1 gram sample of MgS with the mass of sulfur in a 1 gram sample of Na2S. So if we're going to compare these two, we're going to say that the Na2S is going to have a lower amount of S atoms because the Na will contribute to a greater percentage, and so the answer choice would be C.